All right, welcome back, everybody. Another episode of Orbital. This time coming at you after Game 4 of the NBA Finals. Lakers take a 3-1 lead. Rourke, what did you see out there? It was a close game the entire time. Nail biter to the very end. Lakers pull away at the very end of there a little bit for a 6-point win. What did you see out there?
Yeah, it was a very entertaining game. As that we outlined in our previous video, I thought that the game was going to be pretty close. I was really hoping the Heat could win, and they stuck with it, had the lead at times, tied it up kind of later in the fourth. Looked like they had a real chance, with 5 minutes to go. They were, it was one possession game for a long time. So they had their chances. Unfortunately, the Lakers end up getting it done, pulling ahead towards the end. But it was a very close game, especially after the first half. I was really liking how the Heat were playing. And, AD and LeBron were out to a slow start. LeBron had like 5 turnovers in the first half. So, I really thought the Heat were going to have a chance. And, it was a good game. Some players, played pretty well on both sides. LeBron, AD kind of showing out. Kuzma shot pretty well, even though he didn't play a lot. But, yeah, the Heat weren't able to get it done. What did you think? What did you see out there?
I mean, same thing you just said, right? LeBron turns the ball over 6 times tonight, but the rest of the team really, while kind of everyone had at least one turnover, it feels like they, took better care of the ball, at least from a team standpoint, even though they had more turnovers, right? It's not like LeBron and Anthony Davis have a lot of turnovers individually versus you look at the Heat, Jimmy has 3, Bam has 3, Tyler Hero has 3 turnovers, right? So your main guys are really not taking care of the ball as much as you would like. Right. And I think the biggest thing here is that it was a lot more competitive than I thought it was going to be. Right. From a three-point shooting perspective, from a free throw perspective, just an overall flow of the game. It was really pretty even the entire way through up until the very end. The Lakers took, I think, a max of like 8 points. Maybe they even got to double digits at one point in the fourth quarter. But then obviously the Heat coming back, bring it down to 6. It just felt like a really close game. And that actually has me worried for when we get to Game 5, right? For me, I've always said since we've been kind of previewing this series, it's going to be Lakers in 4, Lakers in 5. But listen, after watching tonight, after seeing Bam come back and have his first game back in this series, I would not be surprised if the Heat take Game 5 and actually force a Game 6 in this series. What's your kind of take on that?
Yeah, I definitely think the Heat got some more fight in them. I'd pick them for Game 6 if we're making our predictions. I definitely would like. I'm sure the Lakers would probably be favored even with the spread. I think that's a really good buy. I really like the Heat's chances, as you alluded to. Bam Adebayo returning looked very good for the team. He did not get involved, attacking as much as I necessarily would have liked. Only took 8 shots, made 6 of them. Scored in double digits. And, he only had 1 assist, though. And, as we know, Bam was a guy who led the team in scoring, rebounds, and assists throughout the regular season. So, as we've already talked about, they really run their offense through Bam. And, while we saw him out there and we saw him getting the balls at the high post and doing some things, I did not really see him being as aggressive as, we would like for the Heat to be in good position to win. Something I thought was really interesting, too, again, on the Heat, Duncan Robinson had the highest plus minus on the Heat again with a positive 5. And to give you an idea, Jimmy Butler was just barely negative. LeBron was actually negative 2. But Anthony Davis was a positive 17, by far the highest player on either team, obviously. But my point is Duncan Robinson, he only took 7 shots. He's 3 for 6 from 3. He is really a key for him, and getting him quality looks, I think, are going to make the Heat a lot better and, make the Lakers defense collapse a lot more on him. And that's going to open things up for other people. So it's really crucial to have him on the court, especially shooting the ball. So, we saw the Heat really had a chance down the line. I believe the biggest lead they had was 7, until a couple minutes left. And it really looked like the Heat were going to have a chance, and they play really well to close out games. So, no, I liked what I saw. I really think that, Jimmy Butler almost had a triple-double again, just 1 assist shy. And really, he was kind of not settling, but he was not being as aggressive as we would have liked as well. He's passing up multiple shots. Yeah, as the announcers, Van Gundy was alluding to, Mark Jackson, he would get it at the free throw line or get it in the mid range and then look to attack and kick out. And while, that is really how the Heat offense gets going, the driving kick out to open threes. Jimmy Butler needs to take the most shots on the team. And, when you have Tyler Herro, taking more shots and, Tyler Herro's taken 18 shots the past 2 games, shot better this game, but, I think it was 6 for 18 2 nights ago, 8 for 18 a night. And, while I love Tyler Herro's my boy, he can't be leading, 20-year-old, can't be leading their team in shot attempts. I think Bam needs to get more involved. Jimmy Butler needs to get more involved, and Duncan Robinson needs to be shooting the ball well. Kendrick Nunn, also a guy we talked about earlier. He didn't shoot the ball particularly well, got blocked a few times driving in. So I like him attacking, but he's got to play better, especially with Goran still out. So I don't know. You think that he got a good shot in this game 6?
I actually, yeah, I think they have a chance to take it to 6 games.
Yeah,
but here's the thing. Kind of Anthony Davis is a huge X factor in this, right? Because you can look at LeBron and Jimmy, both of them clearly leading the way for both their teams. You mentioned shot attempts. That might be Jimmy trying to get his teammates too much involved. You're right. He does need to be the focal point of that offense, and everything needs to go through him, right? Tyler Herro only has one more shot than him, so it's not like a huge discrepancy. But yeah, Jimmy probably should be leading the team in shot attempts. But you mentioned Bam being more incorporated into the offense. I think we're going to see that a lot more when we get to Game 5. It's just, obviously it's his first game back. He's still trying to find his rhythm back with everyone around him after they've been missing the past 2 games. So, I'm really interested to see how he makes that adjustment. But you talk about Anthony Davis real quick to go back to him. Just obviously, like you mentioned, having a plus 17 or a plus minus of positive 17, right? That is a huge thing. And one of the things that was really impressive is just that he didn't get in foul trouble, right? Only having 2 fouls the entire game. It just shows you the impact that he can have on the game as an entirety if he can stay on the floor and be effective, which we know he can be.
Yeah, that was a big reason why the Heat were able to steal, the last game was because AD was in that foul trouble early and wasn't able to really get going early on. And also, the Lakers turned the ball over a lot in the last game, and that was another key reason for the Heat to get extra possessions. And they turned the ball over a lot in the first half. Like we said, LeBron had 5 in the in the first half, but only 1 in the second half. And the Lakers really cleaned up, taking care of the ball in the second half, and I think that's a critical reason why they are able to win. Also, our boy Contavious Caldwell-Pope, KCP,
Lethal Shooter Jr.
Yeah, I was about to say, clearly his workouts with Lethal Shooter are really coming in handy now.
Has like a good game for the first time this season, really. Or one that actually matters. He doesn't hit the side of the backboard for once. Astounding. That guy deserves a pat on the back or something for this game.
Yeah, but he had a couple clutch buckets, like with 2 minutes to go. I think he had 5 straight points for the Lakers to give them a 2-possession lead, which was really crucial. That they were able to keep that lead and win the game. So I think going into this Game 5, I really like the Heat's chances. Obviously, it's a must-win for them. Down 3-1 now. I think, we'll see Bam get more involved. Like we said, he only went 6 for 8. And, while I love Tyler Harris shooting the ball, he shouldn't be taking more than double Bam's shots. And, I actually remember Bam on the first possession. They got him going. They got him a layup. He unfortunately missed it because AD, had some good defense. But then the rest of the game, he goes 6 for 7, It's like feed him the ball more. And so I think they're going to look back at the tape. Obviously, they're going to know, hey, if we want any chance to win, we got to give our best players, quality looks and give them the ball. So I really think that the Heat are going to bounce back here in Game 5. I'm really hoping they push Game 6 just so it's more entertaining too. But obviously, whatever happens, we might have an NBA champion during the next game. And I'll be happy for LeBron and the Lakers if they are able to wrap it up here in 5 games. But I'm pulling for the Heat next game.
Absolutely. Well, obviously I've said I wouldn't be surprised. You said you're pulling for him. What is your prediction for Game 5? Because as much as I do say, I wouldn't be surprised if the Heat took Game 5. I do have the Lakers closing it out for Game 5, winning the series 4-1. What's your prediction for Game 5?
I'm taking the Heat straight up. I'll take them. I like their chances. Their chance to bounce back. Their team has always been very, very resilient throughout the regular season and in the playoffs. We saw Boston kind of, control them, and, the Heat are really able to bounce back, especially late in games. Unfortunately, I really thought they might have closed out this game 4 and tied up the series 2-2. I was really saying that in the fourth quarter. I really thought they had a good chance, but, obviously star power from the Lakers, and they got some good plays from Rajon Rondo at the end of the game and KCP. It wasn't like, it was LeBron and AD closing it out. It was the help and their supporting cast that really put the Lakers and set them, up top to beat the Heat this game. So we'll see. Game 6, I really think they'll force a game 6. That's what I'm hoping for. But yeah, I do also think, if you're putting me to it, I'll take the Heat in game 5.